Hi everyone, today we're going to learn a little bit about soil erosion. If should you need me, my email address is on the screen. It's rcrawford@jcpsmail.org. So first off, I want to point out that soil is very important to us. The food that you and I eat comes from the soil. Uh, Plants rely on the soil, and most of our food is plant-based. And even the things that we don't think of as being plants rely on plants. Don't forget, soil takes thousands of years to form, but unfortunately, once soil is disturbed, it can be lost very, very quickly. And so it takes a long time to make soil, but it can disappear almost in an instant. So I want to think a little bit about arable land. Now, when you look at a world map, you can see that most of the land here on Earth is covered by water. Most of Earth's surface is covered by water. And then if we look at the continents, we're going to find that a lot of the land is simply not suitable for farming. It's either going to be too dry, it's a desert, or it's going to be way too rocky, or it's going to be really steep. Maybe it's on the mountain, or it's going to be too cold, and maybe the soil stays frozen for most of the year. But even when we just look at sort of good places to farm, we're going to find that there's very, very few. So arable land is these places in the green. Arable land is just land that is used or is suitable for growing crops or suitable for farming. So keep in mind, um, when you think about everywhere on Earth, all of the food here on Earth has to come from these places, right? So these places are where most of our food is going to be grown. And to make matters worse, plants rely on topsoil. They can't take advantage of subsoil. The plants are relying on that topsoil, which is just that very thin skin right on the top. So the reality is we have very little soil that we rely on very heavily for all of our crops. So what is soil erosion? Soil erosion is really just loss of soil. Soil erosion is when the topsoil is carried away by either wind or water. Undoubtedly, you have seen once soil has been disturbed somewhere where you'll have gullies or uh, these these rills that have formed. Maybe you've watched and you've seen creeks or rivers that are carrying a bunch of sediment in them. And a lot of what you're seeing being washed away when the river is muddy like this, or when a stream is muddy, a lot of that is topsoil from where the soil was disturbed elsewhere and it has washed off into the river. So that is soil that is being lost. I got to tell you, soil erosion is becoming a real problem across the world, and we rely on soil. So the good part is that plants naturally help prevent soil erosion. Plants, their plant roots end up absorbing a lot of water that might try to wash away soil. The plant roots also sort of form this fibrous mat that holds the soil in place. Like the vegetation from the plants, the leaves and the branches, that's going to slow the rain down and prevent it from moving so quick and perhaps eroding the soil. But the problem happens when we remove plants and then we disturb that soil. Water can very quickly wash away the topsoil. Something that took thousands of years to create can just be gone. Now, uh, really, soil erosion is becoming a real problem because we have a growing human population. If you look at this graph, you can see that this is the year 1750. Here's the year 2000. This was about 1 million people in 1750. In the year 2000, we had, excuse me, about 1 billion people. In the year 2000, we had about 6 billion people here on Earth. The world population is growing, and it is growing, well, rather quickly. When the human population grows, that means that we need more food and more resources for people. And oftentimes, that means that we end up having to clear forests. We end up having to remove plants in an effort to have more farmland to grow more food. And so there are lots of different ways that this can be done, but some of the ways that it is most commonly done really causes soil erosion and causes us to lose soil. So everything from clear cutting a forest where all the vegetation is removed, that's of course going to expose that soil, and there's no plants to really hold things in place, all the way up to slash and burn agriculture, which is where a farmer might simply set the entire forest on fire. It would burn all the plants and all the leaf litter and completely expose the soil, which also can cause a ton of soil erosion. And so, the growing human population is driving this need for more food, which is creating the need for more farmland, which is, in fact, helping us destroy the very soil that we need to grow plants. So what happens when the soil is gone? Well, in some places where, the topsoil has been lost, essentially we end up with land that was once farmable and was once what we, I guess, would say arable. It becomes a desert, right? So there's hardly any plant growth there. Once the topsoil is gone, plants can't take hold anymore. And this is called desertification. And desertification is increasingly common in some places around the world. Um, you know, you know, desertification can be caused by deforestation, overgrazing by livestock, extreme droughts from climate change, or really even just poor farming techniques like slash and burn farming. All of this can cause desertification. So, guys, protect the soil. We need it. And really, it's ours forever. We rely on it. I hope you have a great day.